It's Victory Monday, and you shouldn't complain about it.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Derry with you on a Victory Monday edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today is Monday, September 9th, and a Tuesday, September 10th. Thanks for making us your first listen. Thanks for checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. And that includes those of you that watch us. And subscribe, please, and watch us every day on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. I believe we are over 12,500 subscribers on the old YouTube. So we appreciate that. A shout out to our everydayers who are out there that watch or listen daily. Many of you chiming in after last night's come from behind overtime win over the Rams 26-20. Thank you so much. Robert Banker, the proprietor of Gaines Media. We've talked about Gaines Media poster boy, Alex Anzalone, Robert's favorite player for years. Yet Robert's working with some folks that don't believe that Robert Banker, the bank, is my boy. Gaines Media's own Robert Banker, he's an everydayer. Timo Lenhard, U of D Jesuit High School legend, and now king of Manhattan, is also an everydayer. Thanks, Timo, for checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. I mentioned Matty Style last night and others. Turner Batdorf, who was here from Texas, up here with Jody, his dad. I'll be at a game with them later on in the year. I think I'm going to the Packer game with them coming up later on in the season. Locked On Lions today is proudly sponsored by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use code all lowercase LockedOnNFL to win $50 instantly when you play $5. Coming up on the show today, a little bit of a deeper dive into what we saw last night. We got the PFF grades, as we've been doing every Monday for years on this show. Our friends at Pro Football Focus, who were the top 5 and bottom 5 Lion performers on offense and defense, we will tell you coming up momentarily. I've got an insider. I've got a turf insider that I've been emailing with today, and I've gotten to the bottom of why it was so slippery last night down at Ford's Field. Yes. What's going on with the turf last night? Why was everybody falling down? I have an answer from an unnamed source, turf expert. I'm not messing around. This is a real person that reached out to me today and said, I know a thing or two about a thing or two. And so we will get into that. And also our call of the day, one of our everydayers chiming in from up in Mount Pleasant, checking in with us today. All of that today right here on Locked On Lions. Lions are 1-0, tied for first place in the NFC North after 1 week with the Chicago Bears. Give me a break with. I got Bears fans all over me that I know. Oh, our defense. Oh, okay. Caleb had a bad game. Bad game. Barely threw for 100 yards or didn't even throw for 100 yards. Come on. That offense is trash. And I know that their receiving core is good, but that O-line, come on. DeAndre Swift, please. Bears defense is good. Vikings tied with the Lions for first place. And Peter Bukowski's Packers 0-1 after the loss on Friday. And it sounds like Jordan Love's going to miss some time. As I said last night, I don't want that. We want the Packers at full strength. Let's beat the Packers at full strength. So the Lions get a win. And, I watched a lot of the videos again. I went back and watched some of the tape. I've been reading the PFF stuff. First and foremost, the Lions won. It's amazing in 2024 how far we've come as a fan base with the Lions. Oh, by the way, Kyle Meinke, MLive.com, Lions beat writer, and just a fashion plate, will join us tomorrow on the show. So gear up for K. Meinke. It's amazing where we are in 2024 because there are Lions fans complaining today. There are some people calling the shows, tweeting to me at Derry Speaks or at Locked On Lions on the Matt Derry Facebook fan page, the commenters on our YouTube page. I didn't like this. I didn't like that. Why did this happen? This sucks. We got to fix this. They won for years. We were the ones that never got to touch the ball in overtime. We were the ones that lost the coin toss, and the other team came right down the field and scored a touchdown. That used to be the Lions. The same old Lions is gone. Lions got the football, ran 8 plays, 7 of them were on the ground, and battered and bruised the boys from LA and sent them home. It's a win. Do the Lions have some things to clean up? Yes. Is that what Dan Campbell told the team after the game? Yeah, he did. Watch the video. They can be better. They know they can be better. As I watched the film, let me go back and correct something that I said last night. I did say last night, and I'll stick by it to an extent. I said the pass rush wasn't good enough outside of Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson had, according to PFF, 11 quarterback pressures, meaning he was close to the quarterback on passing downs. The defensive line played better than I thought at first glance last night on our postgame show. So let me say this, because Stafford was 2-step drop, 3-step drop, quick outs, a lot of quick stuff, Cooper Kupp going in motion, then you hit him in motion, that bothered the Lions. There was not a ton down the field, and there were not a lot of deep drops. So Stafford got rid of the ball quickly. Hence, there wasn't as much pressure, especially on the interior of that defensive line. I said it last night. I did not think Lee McNeil had a good game. I didn't hear his name called. I didn't hear him stuffing the run. I didn't hear him in the backfield. After further review, he was better than I thought. A guy like Marcus Davenport with 6 pressures did better than I thought as well at second glance. So I thought the performance of the front four was not as bad as I kind of circled last night. With that being said, it can be better. And I'm telling you, the addition of DJ Reader, who I think will be healthy to play on Sunday, is huge for this team. And oh, by the way, Vegas thinks the Lions are going to play better this week because the opening line on FanDuel is 6.5 as the Lions host Baker Mayfield and the all of a sudden juggernaut Tampa Bay Bucs. Bucs, to quote the a former fellow Detroit sports broadcaster of mine back in the day, and a man who used to call Tiger games, opened up a can. The Bucs opened up a can on the Commanders yesterday, 37-20, 400 yards of total offense. Baker Mayfield threw for 289 and 4 tutties in the win over the Commanders. Now, I have very little respect for the Commanders, although I do like Jaden Daniels. But Baker Mayfield, I think I saw this. What was the number? With a quarterback passer rating of 146.4. My goodness, is bringing that outfit to town. But big news. Did you tell Clark the big news? Antoine Winfield, their Pro Bowl safety, out for this week. He's in a walking boot right now. So that's a big loss for the Bucs. My guy, Kalijah Kancey, who I wanted the Lions to draft 2 years ago, also likely out. So the Bucs have a lot of issues in their secondary. Kancey, of course, is a D tackle, but they've got no Antoine Winfield. They've already had some injuries in the secondary. And you got to figure that the Lions are going to play a better game. If I would have told you yesterday going into the game that Amon-Ra St. Brown was going to catch 3 passes for like 13 yards, you would have asked, how badly did they lose? Sam Laporta was really not a big factor last night. Yet the Lions won the football game. So FanDuel and the folks in Vegas like the Lions this week. They're 6.5-point favorites against Tampa Bay. Team can play better. But man, they won the field position game with Jack Fox kind of flipping the field a couple of times. Jake Bates did his job. The linebackers, we mentioned Alex Anzalone earlier, really had a good game. And the offensive line won the game for them in the overtime by just smashing the Rams and putting them into submission. So all in all, a win. You'll take it. Lions could play better. Lions could coach better. And yet, sit at 1-0. Tampa Bay coming to town on Sunday. What did Pro Football Focus say? What did they think of some of the individual performances from the Lions? We're going to get into that coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. It is a Monday edition. Kyle Meinke is going to join us tomorrow. We'll do the crossover on Thursday. Lot to get to, as always, here on a Monday edition of Locked On Lions, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And this Monday edition brought to you by our friends at PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. It's the best way to get in on the action in most states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Tonight, maybe you don't want to bet on the Jets and the Niners, but you want to play a little PrizePicks. Do it. More than or less than on Aaron Rodgers' passing yards. More than or less than on Christian McCaffrey's rushing yards. Go to prizepicks.com right now and check it all out at, again, or go to the app, download the PrizePicks app and do all of that. It's a lot of fun and it's great. Me tonight, if I'm going to play a little PrizePicks, yeah, I'm probably going to do Aaron Rodgers yards or even Brock Purdy maybe too, just to watch the quarterbacks. Here's what you got to do. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code LOCKEDONNFL and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONNFL on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly. All you got to do is play $5. And you don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Locked On Lions is brought to you by BetterHelp today, here on a Monday. Listen up, folks. It's simple. Something out there that you probably want to learn. And as an adult, do you make time to learn new things as often as you'd like? Or is that kind of lost in your childhood? You're just too busy running around, working, taking care of the kids, all this stuff. Kids are always learning and growing, but as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity, right? Well, therapy can help you reconnect with that sense of wonder, because your back to school era can come at any age. You're thinking about therapy, you're thinking about talking to somebody, and you want to feel better about yourself and kind of scratch that curiosity itch. Give BetterHelp a try. Seriously. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/lockedon today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. All right, folks, it's a tradition like no other here on a Monday edition of Locked On Lions throughout the Lions season. Yes, it is time to hear from our friends at Pro Football Focus and PFF. Who were the top 5 and bottom 5 Lion performers from this past yesterday, when the Lions got the win 26-20 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, again, some people hate the PFF numbers. Some people think they're garbage, whatever. I happen to be a big subscriber of PFF, and I like what they do. And I know the Lions like what PFF does too. They use these numbers. Some teams do, some teams don't. I know the Lions are a proponent. All right, start offensively. Top 5 Lion performers from offense. 3 of the top 5 were on the offensive line. Let's start with David Montgomery, highest graded Lion at an 86.6 grade. What a performance by Monty, especially in the overtime. Number 2, Waymo, Jamison Williams, 83.4 grade. Beautiful. Graham Glasgow bats third at 82.2. Penei Sewell, the right tackle, 78.9. And Frank Ragnow, the center, graded out at a 70.3. Those are your top 5 Lion offensive performers. Bottom 5. This is surprising. Jared Goff finished dead last, 43.2 grade. Struggled a little bit, yes, but I didn't think it was that bad. Brock Wright came in second last at 47.1. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 51.1. Not an Amon-Ra classic game, that's for sure. Khalif Raymond, 54.9. Sam Laporta, 60.4. This is a minimum of 10 snaps. Guys that played 4 snaps, I'm not counting Tom Kennedy. All right, so those are your bottom 5 Lions offensive performers from last night's win over the Rams. On defense, not a surprise in the highest graded Lion on either side of the ball. Aiden Hutchinson, 94.0. That included 11 quarterback pressures. 94 grade for Aiden Hutchinson. He was phenomenal working against what seemed like a cavalcade of left tackles for the Rams. Alex Anzalone comes in second at 79.0. Had a really good game, including 13 tackles and 3 TFLs. That's tackles for loss. Derek Barnes, 77.1, was third. Kirby Joseph, fourth at 72.1. Dan Campbell shouted him out today at his press conference. Really liked the way Kirby Joseph played, including a key takeaway in the end zone on Matthew Stafford. And by the way, you people out there on the internet that are saying that the Lions fixed the game because they put a wall behind the end zone that matches their jersey, so he was camouflaged. Kirby Joseph, get out of here with that mess. That's ridiculous. Carlton Davis, 68.4, comes in at number 5. The bottom 5 Lion performers on defense: Kyle Pecco, defensive tackle, 54.0. Brian Branch, we knew he had a bad game. He whiffed on a bunch of tackles last night, 55.2. Jack Campbell, third worst grade, 57.8, tied with rookie Terrion Arnold. Both finished with 57.8s, and Josh Paschal, fifth lowest at 58.7. Those are your bottom 5 Lion performers from last night's victory. Forward down the field against the LA Rams. All right, so an unnamed expert, artificial turf expert, let's just call him Jamie, hits me up on email today to tell me that he's an expert on artificial turf, and in his professional opinion, quote, the Lions spray that turf, and spraying it creates a film, especially if they do it often without properly cleaning the turf. I believe that's why players were slipping all over. It's a newer turf field with a monofilament fiber. The crumb rubber in that field should not be showing up on the guys' jerseys. That's why you saw those black marks on guys' jerseys. That's terrible. Should never happen. Just my opinion. Hopefully the Lions address that. I then emailed him back and said, spray for what? The look? Jamie wrote, quote, they spray disinfectant on the field and water. From what I've heard, they have an issue with dust with the infill, which also could cause the issue, especially if there's too much infill. It gets slippery and dangerous for the athletes. Thank you to the unnamed expert who hit me up about the field. So it sounds like for this week, when the Lions face the Bucs, the Lions should not spray it as much. Last night was weird. It was a weird game. Lions led 17-3. It's like, whee, game over. Rams take a 20-17 lead. There was a lot of weirdness for sure. But what really just made no sense was the amount of Lions players that were slipping on the turf. What's his name? Carlton Davis had an interception of Stafford. Slipped and fell down. Jahmyr Gibbs on that route. Goff's got him at like the 5-yard line. He slips and falls. The Lions were slipping and sliding all night, and the turf was not in great shape. So this infill problem and the spraying, somebody let the Lions know. I got an expert here on Locked On Lions. They hit us up that said, got to stop spraying so much and watering and just let it sit, because last night was strange, the amount of slipping and sliding that went down. We knew Friday night over in Brazil, it was going to be a bleep show when the Eagles and Packers were playing. I mean, guys were slipping on every play, but that's a soccer turf that wasn't ready for this. That was a grass soccer turf that was not ready for that game. Lions turf normally has been fantastic, but that's an expert weighing in on that situation. Hopefully it's fixed for Sunday when the Bucs come to town in a rematch of last year's divisional playoff game. Lions already won the Rams rematch. Now the Bucs are going to come in, Todd Bowles and company, and try to get a win. No Antoine Winfield's going to be a big loss for that team. All right, Kyle Meinke going to join us from M Live tomorrow. We got to do our call of the day, which we will do coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. By the way, thanks to the shout out for all of you on our YouTube page. Really nice comments about my cold open yesterday, where I said you can't spell Kelly without two L's. Yeah, I'm going to pat myself on the back. That is pretty creative. I did like that, but a lot of you liked it. Two losses for Kelly coming to Ford Field in the span of a few months here. Real shame. Real shame. All right. As I promised, coming up next, let's get into a little call of the day. That is where you can chime in on our Speak Pipe voicemail system at speakpipe.com/Derry, DERY podcast page. We will do all of that coming up next right here on the Monday Locked On Leos. But first, Locked On Lions talking to you about Gametime, the Gametime app, which is the best place to get tickets for any event at any time. Tigers are back at Comerica Park tomorrow night to face the Colorado Rockies. Your Mike Tirico last night talking about the Tigers only being 3.5 out of the wild card. It's true. If you are interested in going to see the Tigers this week, get your tickets at Gametime. Gametime has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Gametime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets all of the time. Everything they got at Gametime is great. I love the view from your seat that they offer. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy, so you know exactly where you are sitting and what it looks like to your left, right, etc. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKDOWNNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime. Hi, folks. We've been doing this for the last few weeks. Really enjoyed everybody that has been chiming in on the old Speak Pipe. Yes, speakpipe.com/Derry podcast page. And it is our Locked On Lions voicemail system. And today we hear from a friend of ours from the beautiful area of Mount Pleasant. Yes, she even says the lingo, the catchphrase. Ladies and gentlemen, Marissa chiming in. This is today's call of the day.
Hi, Matt. This is Marissa Hickey, and I'm a huge fan of yours, and I'm a everydayer, and I love your podcast. I'm from Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and Fire Up Chips. And my husband and I used to live in New York City, and we would always go to the bars to watch the Lions play, and we would rep our Lions jerseys. And there'd be other people at the bar, too, repping their teams like Philly, New England, and, of course, the New York teams. And they would always feel so bad for us. They would give us so much sympathy. And winning Macca's was that sad, actually. It was during the Matt Patricia era, so you know. So my question for you, Matt, is do you have any concerns for the lack of production from St. Brown and Laporta? Will this be a new trend for them? I know it was only the first game, and we always focus on our run game first anyways. I just wonder because since those two had such a great year last year, will more teams will be focusing on them instead? So I was just wondering what your thoughts were, Matt. Thank you for everything, and go Lions.
All right, Marissa Hickey, thank you so much for chiming in from CMU country. Yes, go Fire Up Chips from Mount Pleasant. Great phone call. Thank you so much. It's an interesting question she proposes about Laporta and St. Brown. First of all, it's one game. Give the Rams credit and their defensive coordinator, Chris Shula. He really took the middle of the field away. And as PFF pointed out, Goff was not on his A game last night. So much so that the lowest grade of any Lions offensive player. I think this week, with Winfield out, with the Bucs banged up, You know the Lions are going to want to win this game for Carlton Davis, who's going to face his former team that traded him away. Not that he has any ill will towards them, but you know what I mean. I think that it was a one-game anomaly. I do. The fact that St. Brown only caught 3 balls, Laporta only had a couple of catches, that's where those guys live. Sam and Amon-Ra live in the middle of the field. And the Rams took it away and dared the Lions to go down the sideline. Of course, Jamison Williams had that one crossing route. That was great. And then the 52-yard touchdown was a hitch and go down the sideline. I'm not concerned. It's one game. I'll be concerned if after Arizona we look up and St. Brown only has 9 or 10 catches or Laporta doesn't have a touchdown. Those players, those guys are too good to not get going and to and not have success. And with this offensive line giving Goff time, I think that they'll be just fine. I thought last night was some rust. These guys haven't played together and taken any real live bullets outside of the joint practices with the Giants. That was weeks ago. And I think it's sloppy. You know, Bill Belichick, I believe it was Belichick, was on McAfee today, and he was kind of saying weeks 1 and 2 right now, because these teams don't play their starters during the preseason, kind of feels like preseason at times in terms of rust, in terms of just everything. And offenses did struggle yesterday around the league. So we'll see. But no, I don't think that it will be too big of a concern. All right, that'll do it for a Monday edition of Locked On Lions. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Please subscribe on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel as well. We are back again tomorrow with another edition of Locked On Lions. Kyle Meinke will join us tomorrow from mlive.com. Thanks, everybody.